dream I had that I want to tell you about was in 1979. And again, as it's the best time to dream, I was asleep. This time in my dream appeared the great Irish-American clown, Lucille Ball. Wow! She's better than any dragon. I used to love her. I used to watch her all the time. What's she doing in my dream? She was in a black unitard like this, only black. And she looked beautiful. She looked ageless. And the room she was in was like a doctor's waiting room, only quite empty, quite lifeless. And it was wooden, and there was a sofa. And she told me she was going to do a mask performance for me. Wow, Lucille Ball doing a mask performance for me in my dream. Fantastic. And she put on the mask, and she started to improvise and dance. And her body was fantastic. It was fluid. It was ageless. It was like nothing. Bones. And she did this performance with the mask on. And I loved it. And suddenly, she went behind the sofa. And she started to float backwards. And behind her was a black wall. And she started to melt, little by little, into the black wall. Until finally, she disappeared. And it was as if she had never existed. I thought, wow, what does this dream mean? And I asked myself, what does this dream mean? That's a good thing to ask if you wonder what it means. And the answer I got was, Lucille Ball just died. And it will be on the front page in the morning paper. And I went to sleep. And when I woke up, I remembered this dream. And I got up, I got dressed right away. I went up to the newsagent. And on the front page, Lucille Ball died. And I felt sad. I didn't even know her, but I just felt sad. And I went home, and I started pacing in the kitchen. And I had to go to work that day. I had to be a clown in a shopping mall. I thought, how am I going to do that? I feel awful. I just felt grief. I didn't know why. How am I going to clown today? And I got my case ready and put my props in and tried to have some breakfast. I had to take a bus, a train, a bus to get to this stinking mall, wherever it was. No doubt it was out west somewhere. I got on the bus and sat down, and the first thing I did was start to cry like an idiot in the morning on a bus. Oh, God, this is what the whole day is going to be like. And I took the train, and the tears were starting to dry up. Took the bus. I got to the shopping mall. It was the ugliest shopping mall in Sydney. It was old. It was ugly. Terrible lights, terrible colors. I thought, oh, my God. Why this? And I went upstairs to the office and I said, I'm the clown for today. Somewhere I could change. I said, oh yes, go in there. And I went in this other room, and there was a young woman clown who I'd never seen before. She said, hi, Ira. I said, hi. She said, oh, I knew you were coming today. It's nice to meet you. I'm Noon. Hi. Hi, Noon. She said, well, I got to go now. Have a good day, and I'll see you down there. And she was all chirpy, and I thought, one comes and one goes. That's that dream. Don't ask me what it means. The third dream. Be patient. There's only 2 minutes. The third dream that I want to tell you about tonight. It happened the night that I opened the first piece that you saw. Harlequin Suits Me, or Can a Wog Be a Larrikin? So the night that I opened that, which is just about exactly, if not to the day, 1 year ago today. And that night I had this fantastic dream. Sir John Gielgud playing Henry V. Whoa. What kind of dream is this going to be? And there he was at the Bondi Pavilion. Only Only the Bondi Pavilion was quite different. It was like Gaudi, you know Gaudi in Barcelona in Spain. And it was this huge, grotesque building with all kinds of weird shapes. And when you went inside, each floor and each room was also a weird shape. Go to she there, boy. Is this a dream? And I hovered above the pavilion, and I hovered above Bondi Beach, and in from the sea were coming hundreds of boats. And there was rowboats, and there was rubber rafts with the motorboats. And the actors were in there, and they were invading, like in the story of Henry V, the English were invading France. And on the beach stood one actor on a horse, and he was there looking very proud, as if he had just arrived all dry and beautiful, you know? Like in the movies. And the actors in the rubber rafts started to sink. And the actors in the rowboats had to save them. And they all arrived, and they all attacked, and they went into Bondi Pavilion, the Gaudi Pavilion. And I went in to see the show in there, and everywhere I went, there was different scenes going on, but everywhere I went, John Gielgud was performing. I know him now. And this one scene was in a tower. And there was two actors on stage with him, and all the rest of the audience had left. And John Gielgud looked at me, and he went like that, and the other actors left, and he's just staring at me. This is very strange. What's this about? And he nodded. And it was as if he gave me some kind of blessing. And then he disappeared. I thought, well, I'll look through the rest of the film. And I went into a room that was like a tavern, and there was a maiden with the big kazubis, you know? And she was cleaning up, and all the stools were on the tables, everything was finished. And I said, do you mind if I have a play on this stage? And they had the beautiful old wooden stage. And I was dancing around and playing and miming. And there in the doorway showed up 3 clowns. I said, where are you going to perform? They said, follow us. And there was 2 normal clowns and a dwarf. So I followed them, and when we got downstairs, they ended up in a Punch and Judy show. The 2 clowns were doing Punch and Judy, and the dwarf was interacting with them. And I was watching in the audience like you. Or you. And then they started to interject with me, and we improvised, the 4 of us, and it was quite wonderful. And then they disappeared, and the dream disappeared. What was that dream all about? And the message I got is, you should direct Henry V. Fine. So when I woke up in the morning, I thought, I'll direct Henry V. Only I'll direct it with 12 women. And that day, I ran into an actress that I knew, Mary Ann Henshaw. And I said, I have a project in mind. Maybe you'd be interested to do it. And she said, yes, right away. Well, that's funny. And then we had a meeting about it. And I said, actually, what I want to do is direct Henry V, and I'd like you to play Henry V. I'll do it. Fine. And the next day, I ran into another actress. And I said, I have a project in mind. They said, I'll do it. What? I'll do it. But I haven't told this. I'd love to. And for the next few days, every day, I'd run into another actress. And that's how I casted the play, basically. And there was 12 women, and we did the Henry V. We never actually performed it publicly, but we did the whole thing, 3.5 hours, uncut. And it was tough. It was tough going. Me with 12 women, oi. Some dreams you shouldn't follow. That's the message of that dream. The last dream I had was just a few months ago.